Hey team, welcome back to a remote Kinstretch. We're going to be working on some standing options for hip and spinal mobility today. So the only real prop you're going to need, other than an ability to start out on the floor where we're going to do some warm-ups, so like a mat or something, you're also going to need a chair that we will use to prop a foot up on. So really any sort of stable chair will work, but go ahead, hit pause on the video, grab that, and then we will get into it. All right, so we're going to start out your warm-up on the floor actually. Go ahead, lay down on your side, and if you need a pillow or something to throw under your head, you can do that, or just like Hannah's showing, just throw an arm under there. And then you're actually going to take your bottom leg and straighten it out, and take a moment and imagine that you're standing tall on that leg. I'm going to give Hannah a little pressure here. I want you to imagine that you're pushing through the imaginary ground with that foot. So you're really stable there. Try to even feel your glute squeeze. And then brace the rest of your body, and we're going to go through our hip car from here. So thigh to belly. When you can't get any higher, reach your shin to the ceiling. Rotate your thigh to reach your heel behind you. Smoothly sweep it all the way around. And when knee gets to knee, pause there. Now take a moment. With this straight leg, it might feel a little more wobbly, so lean forward into your hand, but also into your toe. Keep that heavy and go the other direction. Reach back behind you. Lift your shin. Make a nice smooth high arc in front of you. Good. Okay. Let's do another rep there at about 50% effort. Just try to really feel the smoothest circle you can. Yes, we want it near end range, but especially for warm-up, we want to just get everything coordinated and tuned up. So just aiming for that smoothness can really help. And all the way back. Okay. Nice. Trying to carve out just a little bit more than the first rep. All right, we're going to do 1/3 rep, but you're going to reach both arms out in front of you. Lean your arms, both hands out in front so your head is free. You can lift your head off the ground, so it's a nice strong neck position, and really lean into your hands. This is going to be a high intensity hip car to finish it up. So thigh to belly. Start reaching your knee up to the ceiling, and imagine you're pushing through resistance at every angle. Really trying to drive into your endmost range, squeezing your knees together, trying to feel that inner thigh, and then go back the other way, doubling down on the heaviness of your hands into the floor. Good. If your neck is working hard here, that's okay. You're going to get rest in 3, 2, 1, and relax. Very nice. Okay, go ahead, flip it on over. Get the other side, and find that stable standing leg feeling on the bottom leg. So really straight leg, push it straight out as if you were standing on it, as if you're going to march on it. Brace your body, and let's do 2 50% reps of hip car. As you're going, really leaning forward so that you're not letting your spine roll back or turn your belly button towards the ceiling. Good, all the way around. And you're trying to get as much engagement with all the muscles around the hip that you can. That's going to be reliant on the engagement of the rest of your torso. So really using your upper body, using your sensational awareness to feel all of that activation can really help. Second rep. Good. Noticing that your thigh is rotating in the socket. Trying to keep that socket as still as possible. Any spots that feel a little bit foggy or shadowy, you can always pause there, try to clarify it. Okay, and final rep, you're going to reach both arms out. You can create a little tuck with your chin towards your neck to help keep your neck strong. And let's go, final rep here. Very, very intense. Really leaning your hands as heavy as you can into the floor so that I couldn't lift them up off the ground. And using all that tension to feed more effort into the moving hip. There we go. This would be a spot to search out and seek out some cramping, and just flirt with that cramp as you move through that range of motion. Hannah's doing a great job really reaching for her endmost range. Awesome. Okay. Once you get done, go ahead and relax the neck. Come on to hands and knees. Good. And yeah, just scooch this way a tad. Perfect. Okay. And then we're just going to do some basic flexion extension of the spine. So shift your weight slightly back behind your hands and then start curling your tailbone under. And let this just be a simple inventory of your spine, trying to make every segment open on the back side. That means it's going to shorten the front side of the spine and move you into spinal flexion. Once you get there, let's just take a nice deep inhale, exhale. And then feel that tension on the front of your spine maintained as you start going tailbone to the ceiling, belly button towards the floor, and then rib by rib opening up as you move through your mid-back and upper back. So in extension, the back of the spine is shortening and the front of the spine is opening. Right? When your chin gets all the way up to the ceiling, you feel a nice stretch in your front of your neck. Pause. Try to keep feeling the upper back engagement and start curling your tailbone back under. Good. So as Hannah goes from flexion to extension, should feel like she's moving a specific spot at a time. So it's not as if the whole spine chunks and moves as one. Very nice. Good. Not Hannah's first spinal car. Okay, go ahead and relax. And now we're going to move into a standing position and grab that chair. So hopefully if you grabbed a chair with a back to it, that'll really help, but you could even just set it near a counter so that you have something to put your hands on. We're going to use this box here, which is about the height of a seat of a chair. And we're going to work on a little bit of a stretch for your hamstring and glute stuff, but with a little external rotation on it. So I'm going to have Hannah just place one leg up. Let's do the other leg first. Okay. And just roll the thigh out a little bit so that the knee is a little bit wider than the foot. All right. And you can adjust your body as needed. A little bit straighter in the leg so that it's close to a straight leg, but there's a little bend in the knee. And then that little bit of bias should mean that as you start to reach your belly button towards your toes and your tail feathers up behind you, that you can hunt out a stretch in your back pocket area, similar to when we're in 90-90 and we're working on that hip external rotation work. So I'm going to just give you a minute here to settle into a stretch. Once you get close to it, you're going to maybe keep micro adjusting, but make sure those adjustments are so small that I would have trouble seeing them from the outside. Okay, so you're really just hunting in. You can even think about, where does that thigh bone meet the hip socket? What does the space between the thigh bone and the hip socket really feel like? Try to feel for that exact space. You might play with turning your pelvis slightly one way, slightly the other way. We really are all different in terms of how we accumulate tensions around the hip. So that's why we need to spend some time selectorizing this stretch for your exact setup. Okay, good. So you should feel like you've really settled in here. Keep in mind, I am appreciating how much work your standing leg is doing, so we won't be here forever. Now to just start feeling this pales contraction, gently start making your foot a little bit heavier into the chair. Once you feel that, try to almost use that heaviness to push or lean the chair over to the side of the stretching leg, so that we have a down effort but also a out effort. This is a pales contraction for hip external rotation from this longer leg position. Once you lock onto that sensation, let's ramp it up smoothly to 50% effort. Good. And hold it right at 50%. Give me 5, 4, 3, 2, and relax. Good. All right, go ahead, come up out of it. We'll come back for another round, but let's switch over to the other side and get that other leg. So again, just a little bit of a rotational bias, letting the knee fall out. Once you get that set up, lean belly button towards your foot. Find what you're feeling.
Different.
Yeah, the sides definitely will be different. You might feel much more space on one side than the other. You also might find that your setup needs to be very different. So, on one side you might be square towards your foot. On the other side you might be a little bit more open and turned away from the foot. You really just want to hunt out where that tightness is. Very often when we're helping people get into stretches, the issue is actually that their body is being so effective at hiding the stretched area or the tight area that actually it's like the stretch will happen sooner than you think it will. So you just want to be gentle here. Kind of hunt it out. Take another 20 seconds to just breathe deeply into the stretch that you've found. Good. Okay, then from this angle, let's start our downward pressure with our heel. And then add to that a feeling of sweeping the chair off to the side of that leg. You can also think rotation on the thigh, similar again to our 90-90 work, to ramp up that PRHs effort through 30%, 40%, and 50%. Hold it right there at 50%. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax. Very nice. Okay, go ahead and make your way out of it, and let's go back to the first side. Okay, so this time it should feel a little bit more accessible to find that stretch. Hunt out that stretch. Okay, now just a quick note. You'll see Hannah's kind of placing her hand right in the hip crease here. If that's what you feel like is limiting you from getting deeper into the stretch, we would call that a closing angle pain. And we don't want to train in this setup to help with that closing angle pain. So you're going to just need to adjust yourself into a position that means that that hip crease is not the thing that's limiting you here. All right? Okay. Now from this end range stretch position, let's ramp up a PRHs contraction again. Foot presses heavy, foot sweeps across. Think rotation on the thigh. So you're trying to roll your thigh, but the chair is in the way. Ramp it up through 50%, up to 60, 70, and 80% this round. Hold it there. 5, 4, 3, keep your tension, keep your position, and switch now from pushing on the block to trying to pull your belly button more towards the foot as you try to make the foot lighter. Focusing on pulling yourself deeper into that stretch. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax. Good. Go ahead, come up out of the stretch. Make your way onto the other side. And find your stretch on this side. Again, hunting it out. Micro adjust your way in. Once you feel a good line of tension, add stretch to that by reaching belly button to toes, tail feathers up high behind you, so that you're really focusing the effort right on that gap between hip bone and hip socket. All right. Now from this stretch, let's start a light PRHs effort into the chair. Start sweeping the foot across the chair, sending tension right where you were feeling that stretch or are feeling that stretch. Ramp it up through 30% to 50%, 60, 70, and 80% effort. Hold it there. 5, 4, 3, 2. Keep your position. Now use your tension to make the foot feel light and pull your spine forward into more stretch of that area. Trying to close that angle actively. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax. Melt it away. Slowly make your way up out of it and come off. Okay, let's go back to the first leg. And now we're going to change our angle that we're after. So instead of working more of that glute and outer hamstring, we're going to work more of groin and inner hamstring. So Hannah's going to place the foot up again, except now she's going to turn towards you and let the inner side of the foot be supported by the chair. Okay? Now you can keep a little knee bend here. Sometimes the groin tissue is so tight that you feel a lot of medial knee when we start to try to stretch that groin area. So just again, we're going to hunt out a stretch here. Turning your pelvis towards the foot and away from the foot, I want you to find a line of tension. I can say a line of tension because our hips are full of different lines of tension we could get after. So we're really just after something in this region to be starting to stretch. Okay? Once you find a good angle, try to again support yourself, hand on the wall or counter. And if you don't have one of these walls at home,
back of the chair.
Back of the chair works too. Yep. Just setting that up. All right. And we're going to do both the pails effort and the rails effort from here to start. So start pushing your foot down into the chair, lightly at first, so you can register some contraction in that area. Ramp that effort up to 30%, 40%, and 50%. Hold it here. Now, in order to keep pushing down, the rest of your body must be on tension. If it wasn't, you'd just be a pile of bones on the floor. So just feel out that tension that you're holding. 5, 4, 3, keep your tension. We're not going to relax. 1, and now think rails. How light can you make your foot? How contracted can you make this outside of your hip in order to pull you into that same stretch? 5, 4, 3, 2, and melt it away. Find a stretch again. And then go ahead, come off of this position. Let's find the other side.
Woo.
Good. Okay. So again, the whole inside of the foot is on the chair. You're turning your belt buckle towards the chair and away, hunting out your line of tension. Now, which line of tension? You want to find the line of tension that is the most clear to you, the one that is calling out in need of the most help, all right? If you are feeling the line that I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. If you are like, I don't really know what he's saying, then keep hunting here, okay? You will find a line. There we go. Okay, so settle in, brace your upper body onto the wall or a chair or a countertop, and start pressing your foot lightly into the box. Good, and ramp that up smoothly. If Hannah's feeling more inner thigh, not only is she going to want to push down, but also a little bit forward. You want to try to engage exactly the line of tension that you were stretching. Ramp this up to 50% and hold it there. Keep holding 50%, not letting it flag. 5, 4, 3, 2, stay strong, keep your position, and 1. Switch to rails contracting, trying to make that foot light and pulling yourself deeper into that stretch. Contracting the outside of your hip and still aiming to stretch the inner thigh. 3, 2, 1, and relax. Very nice. Okay, perfect. Go ahead, come on out of this position. Yeah. So now we're going to take advantage of that added space that we've just created on the inner thigh and the back of the hip to now pull and work deeper into hip flexion, all right? So probably if you're working with a chair, let's say this is the back of the chair and this is the seat of the chair, your best setup is going to be facing the wall, but I'm just going to have Hannah show us from the side as well, again, okay? So from here, set your foot on the chair, little knee bend, and get set up so that you can really feel balanced and strong on your down leg, because in a moment you're going to take this leg off, so you don't want to be supported on that foot, all right? And take a moment here, do a little pelvic tilt back and forth, just to bring some awareness to that area of your body, okay? And as you curl your tailbone under, look for a contraction in your glute on this standing leg. So you're really trying to feel your butt squeeze. Okay? And then go ahead and snag your shin or your knee with your other arm. Lift it up. You're not going to hold it here for very long, but lift it up as high as your hip crease will allow. Okay? Brace your body super hard. I'm talking about 80, 90, or 100% effort so that your leg is not going to move as you take your supporting arm away. Make a fist and hold it. 5, 4, keeping this down leg as straight as you can. 2, 1, and slowly lower it. Great. All right, now you have a taste for it. Let's get a million more reps.
Woo.
Grab your shin, pull it in tight to your belly, brace like crazy, and release. Hold that leg right where it is. Anchor your down leg through the floor. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Set it down smooth. Final rep. I want you to imagine that this standing leg is working even harder than the held leg, okay? Grab that leg, lift it up high, brace your body, and hold the leg where it is as you release your hand. Good. 5, 4, 3, try to chase the knee higher. 1, and set it down. Good. Let's get the other side. Okay. Good. Now, there's a possibility that your hip again pinches when you try to lift it up. So you would just do your work right here, trying to float your foot slightly off the chair. If that feels like too much discomfort, you just need to find a place to set your foot that's a little bit lower. So maybe on the lower rung of the chair or on a step, something like that. Okay. Go ahead, stand tall, curl that tailbone, grab your shin. Hold it as tight as you can. Don't let the down leg bend. Brace your body and release your hand. Good. Holding tight, trying to chase that foot even further away from the chair. 3, 2, 1. Melt it down. Good. Brace strong. This knee is going to try to bend. It's not going to help, so really keep the knee straight. Pull the leg up. Brace your body and release the hand. Try to get every fiber in your body involved with lifting this foot higher, keeping this leg straighter. 4, 3, 2, 1, and set it down. Good. Final rep. Pull that leg up tight. Brace like crazy and release. Tight fist, pushing the straight leg harder into the floor, trying to reach the feet away from each other. 3, 2, 1, and relax. Great stuff. All right. So we just did a lot of different inputs for the hip. Let's just try to sign, seal, and deliver that work into the hip with a little standing hip car. So again, you're going to want to brace against the wall or the chair rather if you're using the chair, and just set up in a way that you can freely move that leg. So there's nothing in the way of your working leg. Brace nice and strong. Let's do the outside leg. And go thigh to belly again. Touching that spot we were just working and then sending your shin away. Start to reach your heel behind and don't let your pelvis turn towards the moving leg. Good. When your knees get together, go ahead and drive back the other way. Tick-tocking that hip car. Hannah's showing a nice brace in this hand. This is the side of the body that's going to support that moving leg. So keep it tight and set that leg down. Great. Let's get the other side. Okay, bracing nice and strong. Take a moment to really feel that standing leg, feeling that straight knee, and then here we go, thigh to belly. Shin out to the side. Keep that height of the knee off the floor as you reach your heel back. Trying to reach as far back as you can. Not letting your spine extend at all, but holding everything still. Hannah's demonstrating beautifully, but it's hard to feel at home. It's hard to notice, so really tuning into your back all the way around and back down. All righty. Okay, so a few options for you to use a surface at home, and I really encourage, as always, for you to hunt out those lines of tension and try some of these setups. Have a great one.